Hi, this is Matt with Intergalactic Herald. Welcome to my Star OS Week in Review podcast. This is podcast number 95. Any articles or videos mentioned can be found on my website at intergalacticherald.com. Please look for news recap number 144. So, quick summary of things to go over. The big one was Star OS did a town hall, those non-town hall, but then it became a town hall in the sense that they released things. So anyways, just insider wording there. But anyways, I'll go over that. And well, that was it. That was the biggie thing. It was a 2.5 hour presentation. And then late, I think it was Friday. I'm not really sure. I wasn't actually checking Discord for a few days. Anyways, the Econ team, Star OS Econ team, did release their Q4 Econ report. So that's pretty much it. And then I'll do my kind of thoughts on the state of Star Atlas over the last week and then kind of my journey. But before I get that, just a few things that I'm working on within Star OS. One, I do want to mention I do have a Star OS DAO pip in the pip ideas channel there in the Star OS Discord. It's for an in-person community meetup platform. So this would be a system where Star Atlas community members worldwide, though we'll start with kind of English, but do want to move to a multi-language type of system, will be able to host meetups for people to get together, so any kind of meetup, and easy way for people to register for those and get updates on when they're coming and things like that. Also does have an incentive program included that will help pay the host for doing the work and hosting the meetings. So again, if you're interested, I'd love to get more feedback. Go to the Star Atlas Discord, go to the DAO section and look for pip ideas. If you like it, please thumbs up. I need 25 thumbs up in order to move to the next phase of the DAO pip process. And then longtime listeners will know I have two other projects. One is my Star Atlas merch store. It's at intergalacticgear.com. Officially open for business, only selling mugs, but I hope during winter break, and I know if you've been listening a while, you know I always hope to work on something, and of course never does, but I'll blame right up that pip and it's just stuff. Anyways, again, check it out, intergalacticgear.com. And then lastly, I'm trying to start a Star Atlas community for people who are not member of guilds, but still are Star Atlas gamers, want to hang out, but may not want to just chat or work on a chat platform, but more about threads and conversations and asynchronous nature. We'll get email alerts when changes occurred. So please go to Intergalactic Coalition and take a look at that. So into the content, again, I mentioned the big reveal of the last week was the Star Atlas Town Hall. So this was Wednesday instead of the Star Atlas Brew. Turned out to be a 2.5 hour extravaganza of updates and things. Their stated mission was to touch on everything, and they definitely did. So I'm going to refer for details anyways. Star Atlas TV did a recording, so that's great. You can find the link in my news recap on my website. Again, herald.com, news recap 144. If you'd rather read, Funcracker from Mafia did do a kind of report. Basically, it looks like he was taking notes as the thing occurred, so you can take a look at that. And as of my recording, which is on Saturday, Metaverse Explorer did do a summary of the report, which is a summary of the thing. So those are the three resources that are out there. But I will just kind of go over briefly, and actually this will probably be normally my state of Star Atlas when I kind of look back. Well, I mean, this is pretty much everything. So kind of consider these two segments kind of melded together. But the town hall started off with a year in review. So that was really great hearing about everything that had come out. So again, if you want to kind of there. Then they immediately got into kind of the new information. And the big one was a very long UE5 demo. We didn't know at the time they were showing it, but at the end of the town hall, they did actually release that version of the, I guess we'll call it the showroom, still UE5 version available. So you can actually go to the Epic Store and download it, or of course, if you already have it installed on your computer, should be able to just update and see that. So everything, it sounded like they showed at the town hall is accessible. And so I'll kind of go through some of those real quick and kind of give some of my thoughts on it. So one was local hosting. I thought that was there before, but maybe it was removed because they were kind of focusing on the metagravity thing, but they did show a couple ability to start something, and then some people were able to join. So that seems to exist. They showed it within what they're calling their gunplay, which I guess I just call the shooter, third person, however. So there were a couple of those. And the cool thing was your crew, and I wasn't 100% sure of this, but it sounded like it. The crew you have will show up in the game, but they're also showing a couple of the characters that were in the what do you call it? They call it the clay model, so they're not fully thing. So it was a little unclear if there's more characters and it is your crew, but it's not fully the attributes of your crew. Anyways, but again, it's a work in progress tech demo type of thing. So, but there was definitely crew integration, your crew integration, I think. But anyways, it was still cool to see them running around. And they were talking about one of the levels that they'd been working on, and even it had crowd noise and things like that. So what wasn't clear was this what they were playing at the Breakpoint Summit, that they had the tournament. So anyways, but it was it was very interesting. Admittedly, I was multitasking, so it was on my phone. I was actually typing up the news recap at the time, so multitasking, so wasn't really, but my hope was, well, in hindsight, I was going to rewatch the video, but now, of course, I could just go try it out myself. So showed that. They then showed the racing, so that seems to actually still be getting attention. Again, what was a little encouraged, I thought they had moved from the racing to the gun play, but sounds like they were working on both, so still not 100% sure on all that. So, but again, there's definitely progress moving through that, or moving ahead with that. Oh, and one of the philosophies I thought was really interesting they mentioned was show, not tell. So I don't know if that's from community feedback that they talked about a lot of things, but they didn't show it. But nevertheless, this was a live, unscripted, or, they prepared, but it was still live, and so it could break, but it didn't. In fact, it sounds like even somebody showed up into the session that wasn't intended to be there, like another team member. So I don't know, maybe that was all fake in the end, because they also didn't say they were going to release it. So, but anyways, yeah, so all that was really great. The next thing they showed was, I think it's called Project Gallia. I'm not really sure, but it's the idea of moving between planets. And so they showed warping to a planet. This one is an ice one. I think we've seen some images before that on Twitter, and zooming in, or sorry, not zooming in, but going down to the planet's surface, seeing the terrain, seeing things off in the distance, and then leaving the planet again, reaching critical velocity, escaping gravity, I'm not sure. And then it went to another planet, which was the trees, and then trying to land, but yet it was dark and you had to turn your flashlight on. Anyways, it was still really great looking. And so that's, again, the idea you can move between planets. So that was really great. And then near the end of it, they showed the Fleet Command one. And what was the surprise was it was already pulling live blockchain data. So it was showing fleets that are currently active and moving around in Sage, the browser game, even though they all were same ship or something like that. But anyways, it was pulling chain data. So anyway, so that was pretty interesting. And again, it sounds like that's accessible. So the UE5, again, they teased it, or they showed it, and then at the end they said it's actually available. So overall, kind of my thoughts on that is, yeah, I mean, it was very interesting and showed a lot of progression, and that was cool. So again, if you've been listening to my podcast for over a year, I kind of bought a video card last year, and they released something last year, and I was going to take a look at it over winter break, but I can't remember. Something happened and didn't, and then just got busy. And then as the weeks and months went on and nothing new came out, it sort of lost all its interest. So I'm not even fired up the UE5 version in over a year. So sounds like there's a lot in there to take a look at and stuff like that. If there is any sort of, I've been mentioning the last couple podcasts that the local market rollout was really great. They mentioned it, they explained it, when you can call it teased it. The economic team got involved, and then it came out, and 2 weeks before the end of the year, great milestone time, but then they could fix things and do that. So, I mean, it felt really good, and it's playable right now. In fact, the Econ report even started talking about some of it. So the UE5 thing shows great technical progress, but again, are we doing the gun thing? Are we still doing racing? Because it was showed, thought it was de-emphasized. The Gallia thing looked great, but is there a lot of plans we can explore? But again, there's no progression. And then the Fleet Command, which we were told is kind of the companion or feature same to what is in Sage. Well, Sage got local markets, and Fleet Command now has ships that aren't real, but real on the blockchain. So again, I'm not trying to de-emphasize the great achievements and the quality and all that, but it still feels like something like, okay, I might start it up and walk around for a little bit and look at my ship and maybe fly it around, but that's it. So they did talk a little bit about goals for the year ahead and kind of there, but again, all vagueness, which I totally understand. So again, great, but I don't know. I do got to caveat all this. I was listening late at night. It was a 2.5 hour presentation. So I'm not doing it at 10 a.m. or so when it came out. I'm doing it at 10 p.m. So it might have just been I was tired. So we'll see. But nevertheless, and on a positive note, show, don't tell, great philosophy. Nice to see it. Nice to get a progress report. Would love to hear monthly reports going forward, not once every 6 months. But, hey, there's definitely progress. People can see gameplay. And so then they kind of went, so that was a very big chunk. So then they kind of went through each individual one. So a few of these I'll highlight. StarPath, the referral program, they did mention they are going to come out with the next version. It's going to be strictly related to referring people and emphasizing things like content creators, influencers, and guilds. So seems great. Not a discount program. So that's great. The core comics coming back. I haven't really been into that and haven't been, but I was reminded, you can get if you collect them all, you get a cool book at the end. And I have to admit, that kind of intrigued me, but again, I didn't correct them, so it's fine. The one big one that came out that was definitely a disappointment, but the team sounds like they are on the same point, is the Crew app. So apparently it's not happening. Well, it's not happening like they said it was going to happen, in the sense that it's a product they were developing, but apparently there are lots of technical limitations, because they mentioned the word algorithm, to do something. And I'm not sure if, again, it's just no resources or it is too much of a technical challenge and they decide they just can't work on it. So it was mentioned they may be talking to another developer who's done it before, maybe they can do it, but it's definitely not coming anytime soon. So I have to admit that is a very disappointment, only in the sense that we have been talking about that almost for a year now, because I kind of distinctly remember it being brought up, or maybe that was Crew. So it doesn't matter. But anyways, we've been talking about the Crew. The Crew app becomes why you need Crew and what you can do with Crew, and the idea you could just have a Crew, go into the app, and be involved in the Star Atlas ecosystem. So, but again, can't argue with technical limitations or, one bridge too far on how much to do. But on the other hand, great being transparent, mentioning what's not working, what are we trying to do, where to go from there. So all that, again, great. It's just, again, it seemed like, to me anyways, a really great way for people who, one, don't have gigantic computers, two, aren't interested in the economy aspects of parts of the Star Atlas ecosystem, a very clever, easy, casual game to get into. But we'll see. The next thing I mentioned is Never Alone. Anybody in the community long enough is kind of known it's just been hanging out there. They have reiterated they will close it. It's getting closer. So anyways, there. Then they had a marketing segment with a new marketing director. Yeah, again, lots of great stuff. But again, great. But we haven't changed anything yet. So we'll see. Maybe, again, a lot of this is releasing in next year, or again, when they get some more staff or things like that. As I know, marketing takes time and takes effort. So, but it was nice to get an update. And then there was an update on community, but they also kind of now introduced the new word ecosystem, which they didn't define, but looking to hire someone to help with being, quote, the ecosystem manager. So I think that's really great, but still not sure what the ecosystem is. But again, it's fine to have an announcement without details. So then there was some talk on the lockers. Again, this is nearing the end, so my brain's kind of checking out because I barely have figured out what benefit the lockers are right now to me, but definitely some changes. There was, again, alluding to the white papers may be updated. So again, that's all great. Makes a lot of sense that maybe they've morphed and changed or expanded. Again, all great updates. Fleet rentals. So again, this is the idea where you can rent out your fleets. They actually showed an interface, talked a lot about different players. So again, all this sounds really great. It was alluded to this could be the next thing on the horizon. So partly, I guess, in the back of my mind, I'm interested because, again, this was the thing they wanted to do to finally retire faction fleet. So, and then the second to the last segment was about all the Solana issues, and will be the first to admit, this just completely put me to sleep. Now, I know Solana issues are big. I'm experiencing playing Sage, but it was just too technical for 11 o'clock at night. So, but what I did grab was they're totally aware of the issues. They understand all the concerns. They're building technology. They're doing different things. So can take some solace that, yeah, this is growing pains, not maybe growing pains, but pains of the system and the fact that Solana is still the right platform, but all the transactions are because of all these meme coins and things like that, which was never when the team started, and that's causing a lot of these transaction problems and things like that. So it was great to get an update. Again, it was just too late in the night for me to comprehend it. And then the last thing, they did a Sage update, and it was kind of, didn't feel tacked on at the end, but it was definitely the end. But it was very dense in the feature set. And again, they had a cool acronym. I think it was C4, because everything started with C. So it was like combat, claim stakes, forgetting. Anyways, big council rank. Yeah, see, again, I was just counting the minutes down until the recording ended. But it shows the continuation of the Sage concept. Now, and I use the word concept because we know they wanted to get away from the browser game and move to the fleet command. So again, is combat coming to the browser version? Is claim stakes coming to the browser version? Or again, is this all coming to fleet command? Which again, we understand the technology to keep a browser game going wasn't the way forward. So that's where the fleet command came up. So, and maybe it was the first time. I mean, maybe we've heard a little bit. I mean, obviously we've heard about combat, and we know there's claim stakes, and we've heard about council rank and whatever the fourth C was. So yeah, that's all great. So anyway, so yeah, there's that. I did skim the economic report. This was even later, right before bed, so none of it at all. And I look forward to someone else doing a summary of it. I know typically some of the content creators go through that. So, but as I've always said, I'm glad they exist. I'm not the target audience for it. They even say that these are academic papers. So, I don't understand GDP for the United States. How am I going to understand it in the context of a video game? So anyways, so I did enough to say I looked through the 13-page or 14-page, whatever it was, but yeah, nothing to comprehend. So anyway, so yeah, that's sort of, that was a big one. And again, it was a big thing because it was the end of the year review or the state, lots of new things. Next day, and now as I'm recording this, looking back, I really appreciate the update. I think that's great. Would love to see these monthly though, kind of like the econ report or the econ team. And again, I guess I'll push the challenge, show, don't tell. Well, you can show us something once a month. I mean, just show it, and I think that'll, well, I guess maybe if there is one critique, it was too much. And again, it wasn't that it was bad stuff. It was just too much to really comprehend because it did literally touch on everything. And, if this had been broken into 3 months of things, the impact could have been, I don't know, maybe again, just with the holidays, you're just like, okay, great, I got to go and deal with travel or decorating the Christmas tree or, whatever. So it's, again, I downloaded the UE5 thing, but I don't have time to click it. I got stuff to do today, tomorrow, kids are out of school. Yeah. I mean, it's maybe Christmas Day I'll have an hour off and maybe I'll start it. Who knows? Or I'm going to take a winter break for my business. So, maybe. But again, I think stretching these out once a month could allowed for more focus on it. But again, I'm not faulting. I'm glad we got what we got. So there. The other one, and again, I don't want this to come off as a criticism, but I think it fits in with kind of my pragmatic view of things. This time of the year feels a lot like last year, where they released a UE5 version. I want to say the DAC platform might have been released, and it feels like one other thing came out, maybe 3D Sage, and then the team goes on break. So there was no expectation for the UE5. So if there's any bugs, absolutely nothing. No hype was made for it. Team can go on break. Don't have any problems with that. The local market rollout was excellent. Perfect timing. Fix the bugs. Give the gamers tons to do over winter, the holidays. Perfect timing. But it feels like deja vu. There's the word I've been looking for. It feels like deja vu. We were here again last year. And I almost want to go back now to the year in review things and think about, what actually came out. But regardless, the big things that are right in front of me indirectly was Crew came out, right or wrong. It exists. It's another object in the game. You can argue with the change in the pictures and stuff like that in hindsight, but we have Crew. What was the other one I was going to say? Sage. Sage has been constantly developed. Local markets are a big difference. So yeah, I guess there was such emphasis shown on the UE5 version, but yet it was literally nothing has happened. I guess we had the surge, but there's a perfect point. Surge happened in this past year and still isn't playable as a regular constant thing we can do. And again, the team changed directions from racing to gunplay. So again, it's perfectly fine. But there was such promise in Surge as wow, I finally feel like I'm doing it. And again, I think it's just that Sage is such a high barrier to entry in the sense that even though there's some changes recently that help the small player, I don't know why anybody would start as a small player. The barrier to entry is so high on strategy and resources and all this stuff that if you didn't start with, escape velocity, you're just not up to speed. And again, I think the team has been very transparent that that's not their entry point. Sage is not for, the consumers, producers. I mean, UE5 is. And everything, racing, gunplay, zooming between planets, that's all completely approachable to any gamer. Well, PC gamer, I guess we have to clarify all that because there's no casual game with the elimination of the crew app. Browser is going away. So, I mean, you still need, a good computer to run that. But that's okay. I mean, many games are PC only and are very successful. So anyways, I don't know. I guess I'll just stick with the deja vu thing. It feels like, yes, some things have changed, but overall feels like we're in the same place that we were, with the exception of if you have the time, the energy, and the money to get into Sage, then there is something to do. And again, and I'll get to it in a second. I mean, with the automation tool, I'm enjoying it, but I have, again, someday I really want to define small fleet, but I mean, I've invested enough to get enough ships to be able to be patient. So I trade with time than dollars. And, if I get my Mamba X, I'll feeling pretty good. Right now, I'm just mining tens of millions of carbon. So there's nothing going on. So, but again, if I could have gone in and played around in some games, gunplay things like Surge was, I mean, I may do that on a regular basis. But anyways, I'm rambling partly because I'm hoping the content creators who have more time and much more video editing skills than me kind of dissect some of this stuff, because I guess I'll go back to there was so much, and so it's really hard to grab onto any one thing. But again, I am very happy to get an update on everything. So anyway, so that's my thoughts on all that. Great way to start out in the year. Awesome that they're taking a break. Justly deserved, considering that this thing is up 24/7. Their distributed team, Game Design Studios, I hear are not 40-hour weeks, so all power to them to take a break. And partly I say that because I'm taking partial break, however, in my business, however, I can't totally turn off. I have to confirm my marketing clients are still getting their daily stuff like ad campaigns and stuff like that, but not doing any project work. So just kind of making sure everything's managing it. So, and then anyways, so that's pretty much it. Then just real quick on my, what I'm playing, my journey. So again, I'm still mining carbon. Where's my notes? Where am I at? I'm at 25 million. So I'm 10 million short. So who knows, maybe a week or two, I'll get all that. So not much else to mention there, other than seems like a decent amount of Solana issues. Always see some red there, but again, I'm just appreciate that the automation tools just keep retrying, and my Solana transaction fees are completely justifiable now. In fact, I mean, I check once in the morning, once in the evening, and they go down by 0.0054 maybe. Yeah, so not at all. Well, because some days it's 0.001. I had the feeling those days didn't get a lot of mining done. But so that feels completely normal. Yeah, that's it. So so thanks for listening. Again, lots of things. If you're interested, I highly recommend, even if you break it into chunks, going to Star Atlas TV, or again, go to my link first, intergalacticherald.com, look for news recap number 44, and then there'll be the links to the Star OS TV for the whole town hall, Aphia's report on the town hall, and then if you just want the really short one, Metaverse Explorer, as of now, has 30-minute video of that. So those are great ways to catch up on what this is. Again, I think it was really great to have. Glad for the update. And yeah, we'll see where the new year brings. So assuming there's enough content, I'll be back again next week because I don't know. I like being consistent on Sunday, but we'll see. If literally nothing comes out of anything to comment on, maybe not, but probably should be here. I want to keep the tradition of doing it once a week. So anyways, so again, definitely open for guests. Maybe that could be my New Year's resolution because I got a couple people who said they were interested. But do check out my merch store, intergalacticgear.com. Buy a mug. Won't ship in time for Christmas, but oh well. If you're interested in giving me some feedback, I do have a merch survey there. I'd love you to fill that out. And again, if you're interested in joining a gamer or Star Atlas gamer community that aren't member of guilds, that still want to hang out and chat, please go to intergalacticcoalition.com, fill out that interest survey. And I guess final plug, if you're in Star Atlas Discord and you want to support me a little bit, please check out the Star Atlas the DAO channel, the PIP ideas. Look for my name, in-person community meetup platform, and love you to take a look. Have any questions, please fill it out, or please reply back, and thumbs up would be great to keep momentum going to move to the draft phase. So other than that, for those that celebrate the holiday of Christmas, Merry Christmas ahead. If you have other beliefs, happy holidays for all that. Yeah, and hopefully just get some time to spend with families, doing whatever you do, kind of that end of the year thing for many cultures. So enjoy your life. Best wishes to you and yours. This is Matt with Intergalactic Herald. Have a great week ahead.